But congratulations to you anyway. And thank you to all those who spend time, quality time with us every morning in different time codes around the world, but you spend time with us every single morning. We are grateful that you could be part of it. What has been codenamed D-Levy, or the 1 Ghana cedi on every liter slapped on it, begins today, which means that invariably your fuel prices may go up. So you may be paying slightly more for fuel. But then also there's a conversation about the government taking a very, very bold step, cutting the 6-5 minute that communication from the presidency, cutting all the fuel coupons, allowances, etc. for appointees. And I've heard people make varying comments about it. Some suggesting that, well, this could be populist. This could be just another PR propaganda tool. So I pause to ask the question that when the previous administration said that they were cutting 30% of the salaries of appointees, and the then Council of State said they were voting 20% of the allowances on a monthly basis to support the economy, was it also a PR or propaganda tool, or was it populist? Because I remember that right from the 1st of May, in the holy year that it began, we had decided as a people to ask questions as to where the monies were being kept and what the monies were going to be used for. Did we get that answer of how much has accrued of the so-called 30% deductions that were made, the account into which those monies were paid, and the purpose to which those monies were put to? Did you get those answers? No. Now, this new government says John Dramani Mahama has effectively immediately directed the cancellation of payment of fuel allowances and allocation of fuel to all political appointees. It didn't talk about chief directors. Chief directors are not political appointees. It didn't talk about various directors at the ministries, departments, and agencies, because most of them are not political appointees. It says to all political appointees. The directive forms part of a broader curb in government expenditure aimed at cutting costs and channeling public funds into priority areas. The president believes that leadership must also bear its part of the sacrifices it is calling on the people to make. The latest cost-cutting measure follows sweeping reductions in the size of government through the appointment of fewer ministers and presidential office staff. Other measures have included stopping satellite TV subscription for offices at the presidency and other government facilities. So, this is signed by Mr. Felix Kwachi Ofosu, is Member of Parliament, and is also spokesperson for government or government communications, and he speaks for the presidency as well. A bit more clarity will be needed on this one. If we do all this cut for political appointees, the citizens must be told how much the state is going to save and what that much is going to be used for. The clarity has to be made. And then we can also look at the categorization. When you say political appointees, does it include spokespersons and all those things? We must come to the table properly with because you see, we must properly define these things so that those who now come to say it is propaganda, it is political, it is whatever it is, will now get full clarity of it. So the further and better particulars must be put out there. And I'm happy that today the Minister for Energy will be addressing us from the presidency. There are conversations about our energy sector that must be had, and firmly so. There are conversations about, for example, ECG operations and the loss recovery program, for example. Where are we with it? There are conversations that must be had about the meters and whether we are paying realistic fees or not, and whether or not the previous administration had some arrangements in terms of contractual agreements with some private contractors and what has become of those contracts, and whether or not we are moving away from using, the pay as you go or pay before you use methodology of metering, and trying to go back to, the postpaid meters. Because if we decide to go back to postpaid meters and the same problems that were complained about back then, since we started using the infrared meters, to using the card, to now using those that we can swap on it, and to now using softwares that people can buy, we have come a very far way away from that period. So if we decide that we are going back to postpaid, I know about Abase, so what are we doing? The minister will have to provide some clarity on that. The minister would have to provide some clarity on those ones. And I've veered into the energy conversation because people are beginning to ask questions. If, for example, we are being told that energy sector debt, we are paying, we keep paying. We don't know how much we are paying. We don't know when the payment will stop. We don't know. Every day we are supposed to be paying for something. So if there's a loss recovery program that can help us to pay realistic stuff, we need to pay attention to it and not be thinking about going back to postpaid. It is that same thinking of going back to postpaid that Ghana Telecom used at the time when Scancom had come and they were bringing in mobile phones. Ghana Telecom at the time was thinking of phone booths and investing our monies giddy into phone booths. When people were bringing in mobile phones, we were busy in bringing in phone booths and installing, to the point where we even got to the point where we installed some in every single school. You remember that? Today you drive through town and you see some of their phone booths left in the middle of nowhere. Waste of money. So are we going back or are we thinking forward? The world is moving. We keep talking about digitalization. Are we going back or are we thinking forward? And then the conversations, that must be the realistic conversation. I'll come to it one of these days. The realistic conversations, I'll come to it one of these days. But I digress. Let's get back on track. Now, take me to Ayawaso West Wuogon Municipality. Yesterday I was reading a document for you. I want to finish that document and I have a few questions to ask. I'll start from the beginning and show you the petitioners. The assemblymen came together, they put together a petition because they can't seem to wrap their heads around the fact that the assembly already has 3 bank accounts. And then 2 people will put their heads together and go and open a bank account that they have not been authorized to open. And they are asking questions that you have all these monies. You don't have a chip compound. Ayawaso West Municipal Assembly is still renting accommodation and still renting office space to use. They are asking questions that within the space you don't have a court, even a court that the assembly can call its own. Follow AMA's example. AMA has a court. Go to Medina, they have a court. Go to other assemblies, they have courts. They are asking your assemblymen, they are the ones talking and asking questions. Let's read the document together. And I want you to note the dates one more time. 1st of July, 2025. This is from the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council. Composition of a committee for investigation into allegations. The office is in receipt of a petition from some assembly members of the Ayawaso West Municipal Assembly to cause investigation into the actions of the Municipal Coordinating Director and the Municipal Finance Officer, MCD and Finance Officer. Consequently, I have the pleasure to compose a 3-man committee, including the Regional Economic Planning Officer, the Regional Finance Officer, and a Regional Principal Internal Auditor to investigate the veracity or otherwise of the allegations and make recommendations. The committee is giving 10 days from the date of this letter to bring a report of their findings and recommendations. Ms. Portia Tego will be the secretary to the committee. By a copy of this letter, the Municipal Coordinating Director and the Finance Officer at Ayawaso West Municipal Assembly are hereby informed of the petition and the composition of this committee to investigate, and are kindly requested to give the committee all necessary courtesies, support and access in this exercise. Please find attached the petition for your consideration and further action, and hope to count favorably on you. I'm sure by now the report should be ready, because they were giving 10 days. Lillian Baker is the Chief Director for Regional Minister. The Regional Economic Planning Officer has been copied. The Regional Finance Officer has been copied. The Principal Internal Auditor, Ms. Portia Tego, who will serve as Secretary, and I'm sure that she served. And then this is copied to the also to the Municipal Coordinating Director, Ayawaso West Municipal Assembly, Joulu. Now let's see the petition. If you go up, you see the petition. The petition that was written by the assembly members and the petitioners, their signatures are there. And then we'll come back and ask the questions that, yes, a 3-man committee was created. Let's see the petitions, please. Good. Now, this is to the regional minister. Note that this was on the 1st of July. The letter from the Regional Coordinating Council was on the 1st of July. They wrote the petition on the 29th of May, 2025. The petition was received on the 3rd of June. So 29th of May. Let's say 30th of May. Now, 3rd of June, the petition was received. It took about 1 month before a response was given and a committee was set. 1 month of a matter that is so urgent. Petition to cause investigation and possible transfer of the Municipal Coordinating Director of the Ayawaso West Municipal Assembly. The above matter refers, we, the undersigned assembly members of the Ayawaso West Municipal Assembly, officially write to petition your good office to cause an investigation into the actions of the MCD and the Municipal Finance Officer. The MCD, in collaboration with the Municipal Finance Officer, has surreptitiously opened an account on behalf of the Assembly without recourse to the Assembly members and without due process. The account details are as follows: Bank First Bank Ghana Limited account, name Ayawaso West Municipal Assembly, account number 01920300121157, branches airport. As part of the corrupt practices at the assembly, this is as part of, it's not the full gamut, it's just a portion of it, a sector of it. The MCD unilaterally withdrew an amount of 379,169 Ghana cedis and 0 pesos on 24th of December 2024, the eve of Christmas 2024, with check number 003034. For, in fact, those who like Lotto, you can stay 3034. Maybe something will drop today. For a supposed evacuation of refuse of the 3 zonal council without any prior knowledge of the assembly members and without due process. We hereby call on you to investigate the issue and bring them to book. We also propose that the MCD is transferred from the district to halt the corrupt practices at the district. So they say that the MCD is a problem. Carbon copy to the Minister of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, and then also to the Local Government Service, Accra. Mr. Minister, good morning to you. Ahmed Ibrahim, good morning to you. Let's see the signatories, please. Now, for those who don't know, just a bit of digression. Your assemblymen are being paid 1,300 Ghana cedis per month now. They received April and May monies. So your assemblyman is holding something. Assemblywoman is holding something. Benjamin Norte, East Legon, he signed. Amwadaku not Joulu, he signed. Asante Christian Center Assemblyman, he signed. Ishmael Okponglo Assemblyman, he signed. Boating Ijenin Boating Airport Assemblyman, he signed. Cabo Central Joulu has signed. Ofori Santana Assemblyman has signed. Lukman Legon Assemblyman has signed. Yusuf Roman Ridge Assemblyman, he has signed. South Joulu Assemblyman Sparks, he has signed. Abelinkpe Assemblyman Badu, he has signed. Bawaleshi Mimpasem Assemblyman, he has signed. Westland Assemblyman Justice, he has also signed. So these assembly members have come out full chest. Keep their names on. They have come out full chest. And they're asking questions. I know for a fact that Yoko has been there on this matter. Same Daku and OSP Kiseja, good morning to you. Does this fall within the domain of corruption and corruption-related activities? I'm just asking questions. But I know that Yoko has been there. And the assemblymen are saying that, look, the monies that were withdrawn were supposed to be for a certain purpose. What was the purpose? To clear refuse. One at Achimota and one at another place within the space. Okponglo, Achimota. Those were the places that they say, oh, there's refuse, let's go and clear it. Did I see bus stop boys recently clear Bola at around Okponglo for free? But somebody took the money on December 24, according to the assemblyman, to go and clear the Bola. The Bola is still there. The Bola Achimota is still there. Now they're asking questions. How did the administrator write the memo instead of the environmental officer? Because it is the domain of the environmental officer within his province to be writing such letters to say, there's Bola here, let's go and clear it. Was the letter written with recourse to the environmental officer, or it was just the admin officer who wrote it? It's a question. Now, the other question that they're asking is that the committee has engaged the petitioners. Come to me. We know that the report will go to the RCC. I'm just letting the RCC know that we know what is happening there. And we will be taking on the various assemblies, that people who have stayed at one place for a very long time, and they have developed a certain spirit of familiarity. I'm not saying that the MCD in this matter has done anything wrong. He's been investigated with the finance officer. It's okay. He will have his day. The assemblymen have had their day. Yoko now is in the mix, which gladdens my heart. Only that at some point, Yoko, they touch and leave. They touch and leave. They touch issues and leave. And they know what I'm talking about. They touch issues and leave. I'm talking, there's a Georg matter and some other matters that I don't want to talk about because they are before the courts. But they touch the issues and leave. When the dust settles, I will bring those things out. So, Madam Regional Minister, good morning to you. This is happening, and I told you publicly here that I will support you if you are doing a good thing. I will support you. There's trouble there. For all these assemblymen to have written, to have signed, to have put their names and phone numbers and signatures out there in a petition that has now become public courtesy Johnny's bite, it means assembly. And it is not a matter that requires cover-up. No. Whoever dares to cover up will be exposed here. Picture, name, house number, phone number, email, everything will be put here. We have to build this country all over again, and we have to insist that the right things are done. Almost 400,000 Ghana cedis of people's taxes, the market women at Santana, if you go and collect their tolls, 2 cedis, 5 cedis, 1 cedi, and you put it together, they put it into an account, and somebody goes to withdraw it without recourse to the right processes. The assembly structure is like parliament. There's a presiding member who is like their speaker. The assembly members also sit like parliamentarians. That's why they desire to call themselves honorable. They are saying that these monies that were withdrawn, we have no idea about it, and they represent the people. So there is a matter. How many times has such a thing gone on in that assembly and in other assemblies? I'm available. Talk to me. Just give me the hint. We will dig further. We'll find out. That's why we are here. We are here to ensure that people do not take the system for granted. So, Madam Regional Minister, Madam Oklu, good morning to you. I'll leave this one here, and we will wait for the report that Ms. Tego was secretary to, the committee of which Ms. Tego was secretary to. We'll wait for the report. You gave them 10 days. Today is the 16th. You set up the committee on the 1st of July, which means that even if they finish their work on the 12th or 13th, you still have some days, grace period. We will leave it at the close of the week, and we will wait for the response. That's all I will say. Now take me to the quarters of the Attorney General. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice is asking that Yoko investigates Mr. Joseph Yamin and also Mr. Abanga. This is the letter, dated the 15th of July, that's yesterday. The Executive Director, Economic and Organized Crime Office, number 18, Independence Avenue, Accra, Ghana, from the Office of the Attorney General, Minister of Justice. Dear Executive Director, directive to investigate allegations of illegal mining activities by named individuals. I write to direct your esteemed office to initiate investigations into suspected illegal mining activities being perpetrated by certain individuals within mining districts in the country. This directive is born out of growing public concern, corroborated by media reports and intelligence regarding the involvement of some citizens in unauthorized mining operations generally called galamsey, that are in blatant contravention of the provisions of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006 Act 703 as amended by Act 995. These activities not only flout our mining regulations but also gravely endanger our water bodies, forest covers, reserves and local livelihoods. As your office is aware, His Excellency the President has consistently reiterated his government's firm commitment to eradicating illegal mining and restoring sanity to the natural resource governance regime in Ghana. In line with this national stance and pursuant to your mandate under IOCO Act 2010-804, I'm directing your office to invite the following persons named in recent credible reports for interrogation, namely Mr. Yakubu Abanga and Mr. Joseph Yamin. Additionally, you are to investigate any other persons found to be complicit in these unlawful mining activities. The scope of this investigation should include the matters highlighted in Professor Frimpong Boateng's report on illegal mining. Furthermore, considering the regulatory oversight role of the Minerals Commission, you may invite the Chief Executive Officer of the Commission to assist in the investigations. I trust that IOCO will treat this matter with the urgency and gravity it deserves in order to uphold the rule of law and ensure the integrity of our extractive governance framework. Yours in the service, Dr. Dominic Akutiringa Ayeni, is Member of Parliament, is also the Minister for Justice and Attorney General. This is leadership. In the past, if you ever spoke about galamsey, and yesterday I showed you the front page stories. In the past, if you ever spoke about galamsey, you will be told to bring evidence. If you ever spoke about galamsey in the past, you'll be told to go into the bush to bring the evidence yourself. In fact, in the past, when we spoke about galamsey, we had a clearing agent in the past. Nobody referred anything to anybody to go and investigate. Say, oh, they are not doing illegal mining, leave them alone. That Professor Frimpong Boateng report from back in the day, which was swept under the carpet for 2 years, until the good prof decided that he was going to speak up after the report got leaked through whatever means. Names were mentioned. In fact, some of those names were given a clean bill of health by the political party they belonged to go and contest to become members of parliament. The people decided otherwise. But they were given a clean bill of health. They went through vetting, internal processes, and they were given a clean bill of health to stand before the people. If Joseph Yamin and Abanga are being investigated today, and Joseph Yamin has been speaking, please put it up together. Shadrach, give me 2 minutes. Let's do this. He's been speaking. If Joseph Yamin, 6 grant me, if Joseph Yamin, let the story make sense. If Joseph Yamin has been out there, and then Abanga is out there, and the government is showing you a direction that even my own people, top party executive, can be invited and investigated, and if they are found culpable, they will be dealt with. Who born dog in Chemawu to me's voice? Whoever you are, you will be brought. So you can clearly see that the president is trying to take the log out of his eyes before he moves to another person. And I'll be very interested in how IOCO goes about this whole Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng report, the names that were mentioned in there. The allegations and counter-allegations, the insult and whatever. The regime is over. There's a new regime. There's a new sheriff in town. Mr. Yamin says, my attention has been drawn to a press release from the concerned small-scale miners in which they claim myself and the National Vice Chairman, Abanga, are behind what they claim illegal task force visiting their sites. I want to put on record that I have no hand in the said allegations being leveled against me. For the records, I am not part of any galamsey task force, neither have I been invited to even share ideas as to how to fight these illegal mining activities of some of these small-scale miners. If there's any task force parading around with my name, the said group is operating illegally and must be resisted from their operations. The work of the task force is strictly enforced by the state security and not party directives. For the records, I am not a miner, neither do I do mining nor own a concession. If anyone is impersonating me, that person or group of persons must be resisted or arrested. I urge the small-scale miners to leave me out of their issues and approach the right authorities in finding a lasting solution to their problems. For the records, again, I am not involved in any such operations. Please, when you get to Iyoko, you can tell Iyoko this. For me, I am happy that the president of the day and the attorney general acting on behalf of the president of the day has spoken to another appointee to say, these are our members anyway, but bring them in for questioning. Don't do clearing agents thing here. So that if you, on the other side, are also fingered and invited, let nobody go and sit in front of Iyoko and be demanding for the release of people when due process is being followed. Let nobody come and mention witch hunting, because Yamin could have mentioned witch hunting too. Abanga could have mentioned, but they kept quiet. And let Professor Frimpong Boateng speak his truth openly. Because in this country, we have had a situation where they say, oh, I'm Bob Bra. Those who are destroying our water bodies, those who are killing us, children are being born with mutations and all of forms of deformity. We are drinking mercury, cyanide, and, our cocoa stands a risk of being rejected on the global market, our food, everything else. They must be made to face the full rigors of law. They must be punished. Nobody must be spared. Nobody who is raping the state must be spared. And that is our sermon for this morning. Please call me 055 92